Hello, welcome back to my channel everyone. I hope you're all well. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. We have had torrential rain. We've had overcast clouds, a lot of rain because there's been a cyclone go through New Zealand. We didn't get so badly hit because I'm on the west coast. The east coast got pretty badly hit. And we've got threatening thunder and lightning tonight. So I thought, let's get the kitchen all nice and cozy, get the oven on and do something easy. And I've been cleaning out my fridge and freezer, and I found a couple of bags of pastry. It's a savoury pastry sheets. I've got one in there. And this one is a sweet short crust pastry sheet, which is more crusty for pies and sweets and tarts. But I thought I'd try something new and just use them up. There's only there's only a quarter of a sheet in there. So I'll bring you down to my bench space. I'll show you what I'm going to do with this, because I thought, well, I might as well just use it up and do a dessert or something easy. It's a rainy afternoon. We've got the oven on, which is warming the place up. Not that it's actually that cold. And create an easy, convenient type of dessert for people that are coming at late notice, or you need to make something up very quick. It's also economically reasonably priced. We're only going to be using, how's this, 2 ingredients. Well, actually no, it'll be 2 plus the topping, which is like an icing sugar type of runny icing frosting, but you'll see what I mean. So let me bring you down here and we'll get started. And this is something that I've kind of just thought up. So let's see how it turns out. You can see I've got a lined greaseproof tray and the sheets of pastry here. So we'll do the savoury sheet first, because that's a whole sheet. These packs have 5 rolled sheets in them, so being an odd number, you always end up with the odd sheet. I may prepare it on the board first. Okay, so we'll just let it defrost a little bit more, and then I'll come back and show you the rest. It's defrosting a little bit more. So we're going to be using apricot jam. And I'm just going to spread the apricot jam over the pastry sheet. And it's just a little bit left in the bottom of the jar, and I thought, let's just get all this onto a sheet to make a dessert. So it's a good one for when you've got little bits of everything left over. You know, if you've got different jams, stewed fruit. And as I said, I've got just this little bit of apricot jam in the bottom of the jar. So you're kind of painting it on, the pastry, with a flat kind of instrument of some sort. You don't want anything too metal or heavy, because it'll break the pastry. And what you're trying to do is keep the pastry flat. Okay, so there's the jam. And there's a little bit left in there for the other quarter sheet. I've also got some sultanas, so I'll put some sultanas on here as well. I suppose you could use any kind of dried fruit. I'm not going to do all of it. I'm only going to do one little section. So we've got a combination. I guess nuts, if you've got, oh, maybe, you know, if you've got a little bit of walnut or almonds, something like that. And now what we're going to do is get a knife and cut strips. So move those over into that row. Like so. And then what we're going to do is roll it. Like so. So it's just a little pastry roll. The other ones were sultanas. I like working with pastry. I find it very easy to work with pastry. Okay, so that's how they're looking. So I got 5 little rolls out of that. 1 sheet. So that was the savoury. So we got 5 out of 1 sheet. And then we've got the short crust. Now I'm not sure how this is going to work because it's a crusty pastry. So we'll see how it goes. It might fall apart. We could do other things with it maybe. It just helps use up the bottom part of the jar. And again, we'll do the same. See what it's going to be like. In fact, we might not be able to roll these. We might have to just fold them over. Like so. They're probably better to just be folded because if they go crunchy and they roll, they could break. And we don't want that. So that was 1/4 of a sheet, half a sheet, and how many did I get out of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 each of them. So they'll go in the oven now on 180, and I'll come back when they're done and let you know how long it took for them to get golden brown, because we've got two different pastries here that we're using. So I'll come back. It's been about 25 minutes, so let's get these out of the oven. One of them's fallen flat on the side. The short crust pastry ones actually look better than the wrap ones. Some of the jam has oozed out of the wrap ones, but they're looking okay. We can flash them up a bit. So we'll put them up there to cool. I'm going to make a little bit of icing. So I've got a bit of butter and icing sugar in there. And some boiling water to soften the butter. And we don't want a very thick icing, because we're going to run it over, drizzle it over. So I'll just continue making this icing, and when I've got that next stage ready and they have cooled down, I'll come back and show you what else to do. Okay, I think they've cooled down a little bit. Let's have a look and see. Oh, that's looking delicious. The shorter crust ones look gorgeous, like a little biscuit filled with chewy apricot jam. Look at that. That's the jam coming out. So folding it over was actually quite good, because it's just made like a little cake. So I think you have to roll them. If you're going to roll them, I think you probably need to roll them just a little bit tighter, so they stay together. And this one was kind of like a flop. Okay, thinking about it, I think these ones need a bit longer. Inside is not completely cooked. So I'm going to put them back in for probably another 10 minutes. Just take that jam off. I mean, as I said, this is all experimental. So we'll put them back in there. For another 10 minutes. But the biscuit ones have turned out perfectly. So what we want to do with them, I've made this runny glaze, and we're just going to pour a little bit of glaze over them. So there's plenty in there for the others. And we'll let them set and see how that turns out. Just one way of using all your ingredients. And we'll see how those other ones do in the oven for another 10 minutes. And then we'll do a taste test. But really, all we've used is 3 ingredients, major ingredients. So, cost effective and not wasting anything. Right, I can smell something burning. So let's get these out. Oh yeah, the jam's coming out and they're burning. So, note to self, don't put so much jam in next time. The jams come out. Lucky it's on the grease proof, the brown paper. As you can see, it's just slightly burnt, but they're far better colour. They've cooked up really nicely. So we'll let them cool down. They're looking really nice with the glazing on them. Once this is cooled down, I'll put them on a plate. I don't want to touch it right now because of the jam, it'll burn. And then we'll try them with the glazing on them as well. And then do a taste test. Okay, I think these have cooled down. I've put them on the plate. They turned out all right. You just got to roll them, I think, a bit tighter. Maybe even put a toothpick in there to stop them from coming open. Okay, so we'll pour some glaze over each one. I mean, you probably don't have to do this. You could just put some powdered icing sugar on them. If I can get that one to sit up. Maybe do it that way because it's quite glazed underneath. There we go. So quite a sweet little dessert. Just using up your scraps. I'll just let that sit on there for a little bit. And then we'll come and try them. These ones have cooled right down. The glaze looks lovely on them. And so that was the short crust, and this was the pastry, savoury pastry. And we'll see which ones taste the best. So just give it another, I don't know, 5 minutes or so to cool down, and we'll do a taste. Okay, the time has come. Now, making them took 2 seconds. Putting them in the oven and waiting, 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Glazing them, 5 minutes. Easy dessert. If you've got visitors coming at the last minute and you just got some scraps of pastry in that lying around, you can make one of these up very quickly with some leftover jam, or if you've got honey or lemon curd. And there's the glazing on top. Now that's the short crust. This is the rolled one. That fell over. Oh, gotta be careful picking it up, it's dripping. They're still a little bit warm. But we'll try these. I'll bring you up and we'll give them a try. Alright, let's get started. So we'll try the smaller short crust one with the glazing. That's delicious. You know what it tastes like? A shortbread. That would be nice. With vanilla ice cream or whipped cream. Or just with a cup of tea even. Okay. Let's try the one that fell over but was rolled. I think they're both just as good as the other. It depends if you want the biscuit crust or the savoury crust, which is that one. The glazing is what makes it. And don't put as much jam on. I spread the whole thing. Maybe go finer. Roll it tighter. Biscuit ones were fine. I actually think it's a win for, you know, a few sheets of pastry, some jam. So if you can see them, they're just beautiful. Sultanas, you could do, you know, like I said, chopped nuts on top of those ones, or these ones, which are just as good. So take your pick. It didn't turn out the best. I mean, I could have tightened that, do less jam, but you've got the idea. So if you've got sheets of pastry left over in your freezer, that's what you can do. You can just do a bit of jam or a bit of lemon curd or a bit of honey or any sort of sweet stewed fruit. Roll it, or do what I did, just fold it over and make it into a little biscuit. All right, do take care. Much love and many blessings to you all. Bye for now.